Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, scientists say a great rhino that looked like a unicorn walked the earth until 39,000 years ago.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. You know who used to ride them as a kid?
Who?
Larry King.
That's such a cheap shot.
Giant unicorns, giant rhinos. It's a cheap shot, but we love Larry King.
We do. My birthday twin. Just had a
Is that right?
Last week.
He's the same day as you, Larry King? Wow, I had no idea. Was he about 7, 8 years older than you? Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Kyler Murray considers the NFL. Dabo Sweeney considers leaving Clemson. And the Giants considered trading Madison Bumgarner. But we begin today with the Houston Texans winning their 8th straight game last night and at one point scoring 27 in a row on their way to a 34-17 victory over Tennessee. The Texans have now become the first team in NFL history to go from 0-3 to 8-3, and I believe I had that. Wilbon, are you now all in on the Texans?
Tony, I'm close to all in. The only thing that keeps me from being there just yet, and it's still early in a long season, is that they don't score a lot. This is like the third time this year they've scored this many points. They don't score a lot, but Deshaun Watson looks whole. He looks like he did last year when he had that great duel before the knee injury with Tom Brady. You remember that?
I do.
And it was just like, wow, this
right.
kid, okay. So he has the knee surgery.
He was last year's
while.
Patrick Mahomes.
He really was.
That's what he was.
And he comes out of this, okay, he looks like that again. And the defense looks really good again. They can run the ball. They've got balance if they want it.
Yeah.
There was like 8.5 yards of carry last night.
Lamar Miller?
Lamar Miller?
Yeah.
But I want to see some more offense. It's like the Bears.
Yeah.
Those teams have to show consistently they can score in this NFL.
So I looked this up this morning because I vaguely remembered it. I knew that they were 0-3. And I remember thinking and saying on this air that if they went to 0-4, they would fire Bill O'Brien. So I looked up what was the fourth game. The fourth game was against the Colts. It went to overtime.
Wow.
And the Colts went up 3 points in the overtime. Now, Houston won 37-34, and that has led to this big change. If you ask me, am I all in? My pushback is this. Can they beat Kansas City? Can they beat New England in the playoffs where New England doesn't lose? Can they beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm concerned. But they have talent on both sides of the ball. They got Watt and Clowney on defense.
They do.
They got, as you say, they got Deshaun. They got
merciless one.
They've got Miller. They've got, is it DeAndre Hopkins?
Who
can
may
catch
be
anywhere.
the best receiver in the game.
They've got
weapons.
Stuff.
They got the stuff to score 35 a game, but they may need to do that. And now that the trigger man is healthy, Watson looked great last night, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. No, he's.
By the way, we got to mention Watson outdueled sort of a guy who was almost perfect. Like, it shows you how phony the passing numbers are in the NFL. People are perfect
was
almost
Mariota
every
22
week.
of 23, something
Again,
like
another
that?
Bill Walton situation.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Passing numbers don't mean junk.
Well, they actually do when you get touchdowns.
Garbage.
When you get touchdowns.
Let's move to the college kids, Tony. Kyler Murray, nearing the end of a spectacular redshirt junior season, is pondering what the hell to do. Keep the $4.5 million bonus from the Oakland A's and get to spring training, or play football and go full on into the NFL draft. He could also play another season of football at Oklahoma. Asked about this conundrum, Murray said, quote, I feel like I can play in the NFL, but as far as giving football up, as of now, that's the plan, close quote. Tony, as of now, baseball is the plan, but you would advise him to do what?
Okay, so I'm not sure anymore. How many years removed are we from Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson? 20 to 30 years or something like that. I don't think you can play both anymore. I think you have to pick one over the other. I think the players in both leagues are too good, and I don't think you can do that.
But they weren't good when Bo Jackson was running up walls?
I look at him. I look
90s?
at this kid. He's 5'11 and 190, which is approximately Russell Wilson's size. And Russell Wilson is a wonderful quarterback with a Super Bowl ring. And he tried baseball too. I think the longevity of in other words, if you're very good in both sports, I think the money and the longevity is there more so in baseball than in football.
It's there longer in everything than football unless you're the quarterback. And you can get a bonus so big with guaranteed money that
I think great
leads you to
baseball
say,
players make more.
Here's my advice to him.
Look at what Bryce Harper's looking at.
Do what you want to do. Do what you want. Do what you love. You know, I mean, remember Charlie Ward? and everybody
Florida
said,
State.
here's what you
Played with
can
the
do, here's
Knicks.
what you can't do. You got to do this in football. He played with the Knicks. He was fine.
Yeah.
He played like 10 seasons in
Yeah,
the
he was
NBA,
fine.
did he not?
He was fine.
Do what you want to do. If you love to, and obviously you can do all these things. Probably there's another sport you can do. It might be like Dave Winfield. My God, how did Winfield ever decide what to do? Wasn't he drafted in like three sports?
Yeah, three sports. So here is the problem for this particular kid. If he is a first or second round draft pick, as apparently Todd McShay says he's going to be,
right,
he goes right to the NFL. He will get a chance to start within a year.
In baseball, he's got to go to the minors.
He could be in the minors forever.
Yeah.
He could be there 3 years, 4 years. He may never get up.
Yeah.
But he's also represented by Scott Boras, who has a pretty good track record.
He's still going to the minors.
I know he goes to the minors, but the presumption is he's a major league player. He's drafted in the first round of the major league draft. I think that's the longer career and the more lucrative, I think. But you're right. Play what you want.
Do what you want to do.
Play what you want. The potential for injury is greater in one.
That's right.
Mack Brown has been lured by his old school North Carolina to come back and reclaim his head coaching job. Brown is 67 years old and will be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame next week. And he hasn't coached in 5 years. Wilbon, what would be success for Mack Brown at North Carolina?
A couple of 10-win seasons, I think. And he's done that. He did it 3 times before when he was at Carolina. Let me just mention here, Tony.
Go ahead.
That North Carolina's 28-28 since they ran Mack Brown out. Are you kidding? That's no, it's got to be more than that. I'm thinking right.
Texas.
That was Texas. 28-28 since they ran Mack Brown out. These schools are so presumptuous. North Carolina should never have. Well, they let him go because he wanted to make more money. They had to. But North Carolina's a rich school.
Yep.
And they can. I'm not saying they can get to the Final Four. But I am saying a couple of 10-win seasons, to me, for Mack Brown are not out of reach.
All right, so I'm going to go with a much lower success rate than that. What I think
much lower than 10?
Yes. I've been a sports writer for a long time, as have you. We have sat on this show and talked about sports for the last 18 years. I can tell you everybody who's ever coached basketball in North Carolina and Duke and Kansas, which are basketball schools.
Right.
Other than Butch Davis, I really can't tell you whoever coached football. I had forgotten that Mack Brown coached football at North Carolina because to me, Texas just obliterated that. So to me, success there, and I would say the same to Les Miles, who just went to Kansas, a basketball school, bowl eligible. Bowl eligible is success, because you tell me how often that happens in Kansas and North Carolina. Bowl eligible. He will go out, he'll get great coaches. It's in my ear that Gene Chizik, who won a national championship at Auburn, right? Did he win one? Could go with him. He'll be prepared. But I don't think 10 wins. You remember guys like
Dick Crum. You remember Vince Dooley's brother, whatever Vince Dooley's brother, he coached at Carolina.
If you know his brother so well, what was his name?
Vince Dooley. Oh,
no. What was his brother's name? So you can't name that.
Coach Dooley.
Yeah, Coach Dooley.
Dick Crum, I named him. Did he coach Lawrence Taylor?
Somebody was in your ear on
No,
that.
nobody's in my
Denny Crum,
in my ear.
Denny Crum is who you remember more than Dick Crum.
My trainer, John Atherton, played at North Carolina.
I'm just saying,
for Dooley, whose name I can't get.
These basketball schools, bowl eligible is enough. And it's great.
Not enough for him. He's won 10 multiple times. Get the bar a little higher.
No.
Good for them to hire him.
Success
Smart
is success.
for them to hire him. And you know what else? One quickly. I know we've gone long on this.
We've gone long.
They need to restore some credibility with the students they bring in. I mean, Carolina's had some issues that border on scandal. I don't believe that would happen under this coach. I don't. The arrogance and presumption of college football fans has come pouring out in and around Clemson. And Coach Dabo Swinney made it clear he ain't having it. After hearing and reading that his team's 21-point win Saturday over rival South Carolina wasn't impressive enough, Swinney said of his team's undefeated season and number 2 CFP ranking, 12-0 ain't good enough? Then it's time for me to seek other places. Make sure you get that. Close quote. Tony, do those sound like leaving words to you? You think Swinney could be offended enough to walk?
So I'm pretty sure that Nick Saban pitched a fit a few years ago that he wasn't appreciated enough. There were rumors that his wife was looking at housing in Texas, and everybody in Alabama went crazy.
But you don't want to
and
equate
pledged
these two
themselves.
things, do you?
Well, here's what I want to say.
By the way, it's Bill Dooley. It just came to me.
No, great.
Bill Dooley.
It could have been Phil Dooley, and you would have known. All right.
Vincent Bill.
The point about Swinney is this. He's not going to leave unless somebody comes after him and makes him a great offer. Might he be interested in a pro team? If a pro team brought him in and said, look what we got and here's what we'll give you, he might be. He might be.
Don't you think that every school that has aspirations already, they put feelers in with Sweeney's agent?
No.
And say, if he's tired
because I don't
of the
know.
people
Not
with
yet.
the paws on their face,
Not yet.
acting like morons.
This just happened. He might even be interested. Look, he's a graduate of Alabama.
Yeah.
Maybe in his mind he wants to replace Nick Saban. Maybe in his mind he wants to beat Nick Saban first. Maybe he wants to go to Auburn.
And
Maybe he wants to go
Tony,
to LSU.
He's beaten him.
He can
He's
go
already
wherever he
beat
wants.
him.
And he got beat in return.
Okay, but he beat him.
He could go anywhere he wants.
Beat him
I don't think he's going anywhere right now. I don't
think he's going anywhere right now, but I hope he does. Because
You do?
college football fans are the worst. They act, all of us are bad. We act like morons. How did it go at Nebraska when they decided they were going to get rid of Frankie Solich after some of his records included 9-4, 10-2, 11-2, 9-3?
Went bad. Ask him how does it taste the last 8 years.
How's it taste?
Tastes bad.
How about Texas, going back to my point,
Tastes
after
bad.
they got rid of Mac Brown?
That's why Sweeney's not going anywhere.
That's why he's not going. Why don't we put the blame on them?
They're going to pledge their love to him in a way like you haven't seen within the next 48 hours.
You think so?
Don't worry about it. Because he's great.
He's great.
He's great. MLB.com is reporting that the San Francisco Giants are willing to listen to offers for their ace left-hander, Madison Bumgarner. Bumgarner, by the way, I have a Carolina tie on today.
You do.
Bumgarner was a heroic figure on the Giants' World Series champions, but the last 2 years he's been injured. Wilbon, does it make sense for the Giants to trade the 28-year-old Bumgarner?
I guess that means I'm wearing a Duke blue sweater.
That's a little dark for Duke blue, but this is Carolina blue in honor of Mac Brown.
In honor of
Who I don't even know.
Mac Brown, he's on our airways.
I know, but I don't know
He's
him. I've
great
never met
at
him.
Yakking, but he's even better.
I haven't met him.
Why not trade Bumgarner? They haven't done anything, the Giants, in the last couple of years. They won in, 14? They got back
10, 12,
in the
and
playoffs,
14, right?
I think the even years.
Yeah.
They lost to the Cubs in a great series one of those years subsequently. But they haven't been deep in the playoffs. I would consider it, even at his age, and I know I'm not talking about the lost velocity. You can get that back. We've seen people. We just saw Justin Verlander, who was supposed to have lost all his velocity, and like +6 in years on Bumgarner, regained his velocity. So it's enough with the analytics. If they're going to rebuild and you can get a lot for Bumgarner, and I think you'd consider it.
Okay. I think it's the worst possible time to trade him. By the way, 28, sneaky young.
Just turned 29.
I thought he was much older than that. The worst possible time to trade him is when he's been hurt for 2 years. You will kick yourself in the head if he goes somewhere else and he's great, because you'll never get value right now for what that. No, you're never going to get any value. The flip side of that is Barry Zito, who folded before your eyes. Tim Lincecum folded before your eyes. And those were Giants pitchers, and they're familiar with that. I disagree with you, and I don't think it's just analytics. I think it's just plain math. If your velocity goes down, if the rate of hard contact goes up, and if your four-seam fastball is being hit out of the park by everybody in the world, I think that's a bad trend. But your example of Verlander is correct.
So if your velocity goes up and they don't hit the balls as hard and your four-seamer gets better,
this is that's what I'm saying.
Stupidity.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not stupidity.
Dumb.
It's mathematics.
And you are too smart, and you've watched too much baseball, and you know people bounce back, and they have great years late. Steve Stone won a Cy Young.
Does he even listen to what I've said?
No.
Jeff, I just said you're right with Justin Verlander. Let's take a break. Can I get the crew on my side?
No.
Coming up, Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger face each other on Sunday. Which quarterback would you rather have?
Don't appeal to Jeff. He's not in this. It's the competition Tiger will play this weekend, a bigger deal than the one Tony can't stop gushing about, even though that was
Sean, does he even listen to me?
Try not to.
James!
Pardon me.
It's time for toss-up. I make a great argument. Wilbon says a bunch of stuff, and then I win. What's first?
Toss-up, brighter future, Markelle Fultz or Blake Bortles?
Honestly, neither to me at the moment seems to have a bright future.
One does.
Blake Bortles is in his fifth season, all as a starter. When you bench a guy that deep in his career, you're saying you don't want him anymore. I don't know what he's got. Markelle Fultz appears to me, he's only 20, he appears to me to have both physical and probably psychological problems right now in getting out onto a basketball court. But if he gets away from Philadelphia, I think he has a better chance of being better than Bortles does.
I want this to be Markelle Fultz. He lives here where we have lived for many years. We've rooted for him. But the answer is Blake Bortles, because it doesn't matter about his fifth year. If he can hold a clipboard and walk, he could be around for 10 more years.
Yeah, but what's his future?
Josh McCown. Your future is making millions of dollars
you're not
being
playing,
not in
Mike.
harm's
But
way.
you're not playing.
Let me ask you something.
You're not playing.
young Mr. Fultz, if he can't play, they're going to keep him around for 12 years and guarantee his salary?
No, but maybe he can play. That was my whole point.
Hope he can.
Next.
Toss-up, they play Sunday. Which quarterback would you rather have, Phillip Rivers or Ben Roethlisberger?
This Sunday, I would rather have Phillip Rivers.
Oh, I knew you were going to go this way.
Ben Roethlisberger has thrown 5 interceptions in the last 2 weeks.
At him.
Phillip Rivers right now, by the way, that game's in Pittsburgh where the temperature will be mid-50s, which is okay for a California quarterback. Rivers this year has thrown more touchdown passes and fewer interceptions than Roethlisberger, and his career, 39-19 in December and January.
You stop quoting stupid,
so it's a December
irrelevant numbers. Here's what's relevant.
You love Roethlisberger.
Ben Roethlisberger, how many Super Bowls? 2. And hasn't he been to another
3
one?
3 total.
Phillip Rivers.
0. This Sunday, Mike.
Next.
This Sunday.
This Sunday, I want Ben Roethlisberger because he's not going to have 3 straight bad games. Take that number.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Get on that. Eat on that number.
Michael Jordan.
Eat on that.
Michael Jordan. Next.
Phil Rivers.
Toss up. Whose back do you have on last night's final shot? Zach LaVine or Fred Hoiberg?
Okay, these are not analytics. These are plain numbers. The Bulls are down 1.
You don't need numbers.
Hoiberg says, let's get a screen. Let's get you to the basket.
Yeah.
LaVine waves them off.
Yeah.
And he ends up down 1, taking a fallback 3-point shot that barely grazes the rim. If he had gotten a pick or two and he gets to the rim, Mike, they're down 1. They need 2. They don't need 3. Hoiberg is the answer.
Zach LaVine, who you've never seen play since he left Minnesota, is one of the best drivers and finishers at the rim.
Why didn't he do it?
Game today. The extra defender comes when you screen, and you don't want to have to go around an extra defender.
How was the shot he got?
So that's not the point.
It is the
That's
point.
not what Hoiberg was talking about, and that wasn't going to free him to that degree.
Point.
Zach LaVine, on his own, without a screen, can get to the basket.
Did he?
That's his fault.
Did he?
But that's shot selection,
I got Hoiberg.
not the screener.
I'm back in Hoiberg.
You're wrong.
Next.
Last one. Toss up. Bigger deal in golf. Last week's The Match or this week's Hero World Challenge?
Okay, the Phil Tiger thing wasn't great. They didn't play great golf, but it always had the potential for greatness.
Stop with the potential.
It was a great event.
Stop slurping
The Hero World Challenge is a tournament in the Bahamas for 18 people, most of whom will have hangovers every single day. Nobody cares about this tournament. And Phil's not even in it. The Phil Tiger circumstance was far greater, and the anticipation was greater.
You would rather have seen only Tiger and Phil give each other
100 times.
Give each other 20-foot putts.
They never did
rather
that.
Than say
100
did.
times.
Justin Rose, Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas,
Mutes.
Bryson DeChambeau, Rom Fleetwood, Fowler Day.
Don't care.
Finau, Patrick Reed, your boy Patrick Reed.
Stop, Tiger and Phil.
Bubba Watson.
No, stop.
Stop. Don't tell me that is this. You're being a dope now.
Hero World Challenge.
A dope.
Nobody. That's it. Let's take one last break. Still to come, will the return of Steph Curry solve all the Warriors' problems?
Probably not. And could Zion Williamson, who likes my sweater better than your tie, and Duke lose 2 straight?
Tiger Phil had such great potential.
Stop with potential.
I would watch it again, even knowing the outcome.
I've got great potential as a chef.
Pardon the Interruption is brought to you by Domino's. Order online and track your order.
Happy time, people. Happy 22nd birthday, Eloy Jimenez. The AAA outfielder is rated the #1 outfield prospect in the minor leagues ahead of Victor Robles of the Nationals. Jimenez hit 22 homers and drove in 75 runs in just 108 games in the minors last year. And he smashed one into the lights in the AA home run derby, Roy Hobbs style. He's expected to be in the White Sox outfield by summer.
You know, Tony, we had to give him up. And by we, I mean the Cubbies. But we got Quintana back, and he's pitched well for the Cubs in that time, so I don't know that I regret it too much.
You may, down the road.
I might.
Happy anniversary, John Harbaugh. On this day 2 years ago, you instructed your entire punt team to hold while punter Sam Cook held the ball and ran out the remaining 11 seconds before taking a safety to preserve a Ravens win over the Bengals. Knowing that games can end on an offensive penalty, Harbaugh also used this form of running out the clock when the Ravens beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
Brilliant.
And if Lamar Jackson doesn't get the Ravens to the playoffs, Harbaugh can use this strategy coaching somewhere else next year.
He didn't rely on the numbers when he was thinking that through, did he? Common sense.
Smart move.
Actually, creativity took him there.
Happy trails, Leonard Fournette, the highly prized Jacksonville running back, suspended a game for getting into a fight last Sunday against the Bills in Jacksonville's 8th straight loss. Barring reversal on appeal, Fournette's absence will strengthen the Colts' case to win their 6th straight game. And now all eyes on Jacksonville's offense will be on Cody Kessler, who replaces your boy Blake Bortles as the starting quarterback.
All eyes should be peeled to see how stupid Jacksonville is this week, because that's their move.
No errors today. We go to the big finish.
Let's do it.
Steph Curry was expected back at practice for the Warriors today. Does this solve everything?
No, they need Steph Curry and Draymond Green. There's a difference between practice and playing. James Harden had 54, but the Wizards won. Bigger deal?
The bigger deal is always winning. The Wizards were down 20 early. This is their pattern.
Wall and Beal.
Yes.
I'm not giving them up on them like you are.
The Pelicans have lost 4 straight. They are now below 500. Are you sure they won't deal Anthony Davis?
So dealing your best player when you're below 500 is going to help you? I hope they don't anyway. Sportando.com, you write for them, don't you? Says Larry Brown is on the hot seat in Italy after losing 10 straight. You going to defend your boy?
I don't have to defend my boy. My boy's in the Hall of Fame.
Not the Italian
My
Hall of
boy
Fame.
won the NBA and he won the NCAA. So also played on a gold medal
Another
team.
country.
I don't care.
Huh?
Last one, Indiana versus number 3 Duke tonight. Who would you rather see
I'm
win?
torn. I got conference affiliation. I never root against Coach K.
There you go. We're out of time. Try and do better than next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
And I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads. You can get the PTI podcast on the ESPN app or Apple Podcasts.
Mike Rush and Joe Paulson, shout out. Money, 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 money.
I'm rooting for Duke, Tony.